Suppose you wanted to make a drawing to describe this movable jaw from a drill press vise. You cannot see what the inside looks like, but if you could cut away part of it, you could see the inside quite clearly. Or in a similar case, take this hub, which also has important details on the inside. You need to show these details in the hole, but they cannot be seen clearly from the top or front. An ordinary front view would show the inside features by hidden lines, but this is not a good way to represent them because you want to show them more clearly. You can make your drawing easier to read by a method called sectioning. Imagine that you can pass a cutting plane through the object, and that the part of the object in front of the plane can be removed. Now you can see all the inside details clearly, and you can make a drawing of the hub as usual in orthographic projection. This view is called a section or sectional view. Those parts through which the cutting plane passed, you will indicate with fine lines at an angle, evenly spaced, called section lining. Do not section line parts beyond the cutting plane. Show the top view in full, but add a special line called a cutting plane line to show where this imaginary cutting plane passed. Arrows to show the direction in which you look at the section, and reference letters to relate the cutting plane line to the sectional view. Because the cutting plane passes clear across the object, this particular view is called a full section. However, you can use the imaginary cutting plane to make different kinds of sections when they are needed. For example, when you have a different kind of object, such as this, a continuous cutting plane may not reveal all the details you want to show. If you made a section on just one plane, here for instance, it would not show both holes. Therefore, imagine a cutting plane which is offset so that it will go through all the details you want to see in the sectional view. Now both holes will show clearly in the drawing. Project the view as usual, but do not indicate the offset on the sectional view because it is imaginary. On the top view, show by the cutting plane line how the cutting plane is offset. A view like this is also called a full section. Sometimes when you have a symmetrical object, you may want to show both the outside and the inside in the same view. In such a case, you can imagine that the cutting plane goes only halfway through the object to the center, and think of only 1/4 of the object as being cut away. This method creates a half section, showing both outside and inside details. When you draw a half section, use a center line through the view, but not an edge line. No edge should be shown because the cut is imaginary and the object is actually cut. Show the cutting plane line, arrows, and reference letters. Use a half section whenever it will show the details of the object more clearly than a full view or a full section will do. Sometimes you will want to show inside details, like the hole in the threaded end of this bolt, without drawing a full or half section. Imagine that the cutting plane goes through the bolt lengthwise and that the part in front of the plane is broken out and removed. Project the view as usual and draw an irregular line to show where the break was made. This view is called a broken out section. Because it is obvious where the cut was taken, you can omit the cutting plane line when you draw a broken out section. Now and then you need a section only to show the shape of some detail, like a rib or the arm of a wheel. Think of a cutting plane that is perpendicular to the axis of the part you want to section. And think of the cut part as revolving or turning into the plane of the view. Then project the view and the part you have revolved, but omit the cutting plane line. When a section like this is shown right on the view, it is called a revolved section. If the proportions of the object are different, however, you may need more space to show the revolved section or to add dimensions. In that case, simply move the revolved section outside the view. Then you will need a cutting plane line to show where the section was taken. This type is called a removed or detail section. You can make your drawings clear and easy to read by following certain rules in section lining them. Do not section line small parts which have no inside details, but show them full as if the cutting plane did not pass through them. Apply this rule to shafts, to bolts and nuts, to rods and rivets, to keys, and so forth. As a rule, do not show hidden lines on a sectional view because they would confuse the drawing. Omit them unless they are needed to describe the shape or size of the object. When you show two or more pieces together, the section lines should be drawn in different directions. Space your section lines according to the size of the piece. Notice that section lining should be the same here and here, because each side of the gear is part of the same piece. Section lining for the same piece should always be the same. If you apply these rules, your drawings will be easy to understand. Remember that a section is only an imaginary cut. One view shows the cut surface, the other a cutting plane line. Indicate a sectional view by section lining those parts through which the cutting plane passes. Do not show an edge because the cut is only imaginary. Besides full and half sections, you can use broken out sections, revolved sections, and removed sections where they are needed to make your drawings clear.